morning, Tottenham fans. Spurs have been linked to Bournemouth centre-back Zabani. I'll explain why this doesn't make sense. Thomas Frank has had his first press conference, and I'll tell you why that's got me pretty excited. Frank has also decided on a captain, but only temporary. I'll tell you why. And Spurs are linked to the same player Nottingham Forest are linked to. Can we use that to our advantage for Morgan Gibbs-White? Or are we going to upset them again and make them cry again? All that in today's video. If you're new here, please smash that subscribe button and hit that like button. This channel is growing from strength to strength, and it's all thanks to you guys. It's all much appreciated. So if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. It really does help the channel grow. Now, let's get into this video because it's quite a strange one today, because Spurs have been linked by quite a few people. I'll read out like last word on Spurs. And Ben Jacobs actually reported this as well, that Tottenham Hotspur are interested in Ilya Zabani and would be ready to match Bournemouth's requested fee of $70 million, including add-ons, if the player is open to a potential move. Don't know why it says that. Zabani's priority is currently PSG, who are yet to agree a fee. Next stage will be crucial to understand if PSG will move forward and launch a new offer. So, it's a no-brainer if you're a player at the moment. Either go to PSG or go to Spurs. Few reasons for this. I still think Spurs are a bigger side than PSG, but not in recent history. PSG can pay you much higher wages. PSG at the moment are probably the best team in the world football at the moment. Chelsea fans probably won't agree, but they are. They're one of the best teams in the world. And they have so many fantastic players. So it's a no-brainer to want to go there. But Zabani could be heading to Spurs if Spurs gate crash this deal. And if PSG don't offer any more money, then it could happen. But for me, it just doesn't make sense. Zabani is a very good player. He's only young still. I think he's only 22 years old. He's 6'3". He's dominant in the air. He's a very good player. But this deal would only make sense if we sold Romero, because he would be a good replacement for Romero. But I'll tell you this right now before I carry on. I think Romero is a better defender than Zabani. So it wouldn't make sense to get rid of Romero and replace him for Zabani, because I think that would be weakening our defence. But if Romero does want to go and we get top dollar for him, then it does make sense, because there isn't that many defenders out there that could be near to Romero's level. You know, Zabani's only 22. He can still get better and better. He's Prem proven as well. He had a good season last season. And to be honest, when I watched Bournemouth play a couple of times, I watched both games against Spurs, I thought Zabani was better than Huijsen, and Huijsen's gone to Real Madrid, so that didn't make sense to me. But maybe he's really underrated, and maybe Spurs can get a bargain. But again, what are we going to do with all the defenders we have? Because at the moment, we have Van der Ven, Romero, Danso, Takai, Dragushin, Vuskovic, Phillips, Davies, Dorrington. Like, there's a few there, like, yeah, we can loan out and maybe get sell Davies. Dragushin, probably not 100% sure he's going to stay yet. Don't know. We'll see what happens. But we have a lot of centre-backs there. And my biggest problem with this whole thing is we need a defensive midfielder. We need another striker. We need a left-back cover. Why are we even thinking about a centre-back at the moment? We haven't even got Morgan Gibbs-White over the line. So these reports, they really don't make sense. I'm finding it hard to believe, but it's been reported everywhere that Spurs are interested. So it baffles me a little bit. Like, why are you even thinking about this unless you know there's an offer coming in for Romero? That's the only thing that makes logical sense to me. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what's going on. Now, Thomas Frank had his first interview as had his first press conference as a Tottenham manager, and it was pretty good, and it got me pretty excited, to be honest. But the first thing he did, and he's a class act, this manager already, and he already made me think, wow, he's a good man, because the first thing he said was Thomas Frank begins his first ever Tottenham Hotspur press conference by paying his respect to late Diogo Jota and Andre Silva. Now, starting your first ever press conference with a new club and you do that, you're a top man. Now, again, that was a great way to start, in my opinion. Now, move on to other things he said. So Thomas Frank has credited Daniel Levy, Vinay Venkatesham and Johan Langer for securing the signing of Mohamed Kudus from West Ham. He said, "It is a great signing, top work from Daniel, Vinay and Johan in getting a really good player in ahead of pre-season. He gives us unpredictability in the game. His finishing is really good. He is almost a perfect age, not just to perform, but to take to the next level." Now that really excited me because there's so much potential in Kudus, just like there was in Mbeumo. And look what Frank did with Mbeumo. I think if Frank does anywhere near what he did with Mbeumo, his ceiling is going to go through the roof. Honestly, Kudus has got everything. Did you watch the training video of Kudus in training? He is a class act, and if he can get some consistency, if Frank can get the best out of him, we're going to have some player on our hands. Honestly, we are. Then Frank went on to say, "I'm very proud to sit in this chair and be part of the next chapter in Tottenham's history. I'll do everything every day to hopefully take this club to new heights. That's the ambition. I wouldn't do it if I didn't have big ambitions." Now again, that got me excited. I know a lot of managers can talk, but Frank has proven in the past, especially with Brentford, he can take a team and take it to new heights. He took Brentford to 9th place. Brentford, the second lowest wage bill in the league. They was only spending 5 million on their top players, like 5 million for Mbeumo. I think it was 5 million for Watkins, 5 million for Tony, and he turned them into £40 million players. So he can take us to new heights, and it is getting exciting now. Thomas Frank outlined his principles of what he expects to see from his Tottenham Hotspur players. He said, "I am very clear in my principles. I want to see the team be brave, aggressive and attack. Brave is linked to dare is to do. If you are not brave, it is very difficult to achieve anything. Being aggressive is very important, and of course we need to attack." Now this is giving me Poch vibes. When Poch came in, that's exactly what he wanted. He wanted us to be aggressive. He wanted to be attacking. He wanted us to win every single ball, and he wanted us to be brave. And now it does feel a lot like that, and honestly, I am getting excited now, honestly, because if Frank can get us to that level where we are hard to beat, but very good in transition, score lots of goals, we are going to be a top side, especially if he gets the players that he wants. Frank said, "I'm super excited. There is a fantastic great training ground and stadium. The facilities are top. The squad is really exciting. A good mix between experience and talent. My biggest task is to maximise the potential of the players. That gives you a better chance of competing than achieving success. I'm very proud to sit in this chair and be part of the next chapters of Tottenham's history. The ambition is to take this club to new heights," like I said. So, again, he's just a class act, and I really believe in this manager, like a lot. I got a lot of stick last season for believing in Ange, and he delivered a trophy. So, that belief came through in the end. So we actually won a trophy, and even Thomas Frank did big up Ange Postecoglou and said he is a legend of this club and always will be, and he wants to take Spurs on from what he started. So respect to Frank again for respecting the previous manager and knowing that he didn't build this team. Ange has built this team to where it is at the moment. Every single player on that team at the moment are Europa League winners. And sometimes that can change a player's mentality to go on to win more. It really does help. Now, when Frank was asked about who his captain was going to be, he said he hasn't decided yet, which is telling a little bit. But in tomorrow's game against Reading, is going to be Romero for the first half and Sonny for the second half, or vice versa. They're going to get a half each. So he's sticking to that for now, but he still hasn't made a decision. Is he not making a decision because he's not sure whether Romero's leaving or Sonny's leaving? So maybe he has to wait. But I think if he knows for sure that one of those two are staying, then we're going to find out. If he says for sure that Romero Sonny is a captain, then that player that he chooses will definitely be staying. But the fact that he said, "I don't know yet," makes me think, well, there still is a chance that they might leave. Now, Forest are linked with Johan Wissa. Tottenham are linked with Johan Wissa. Can we use this to our advantage and say to Forest, you know what, we won't go in for Wissa, just give us Morgan Gibbs-White and we'll move on to other targets. Maybe we can use that as a bargaining tool to say, you know, let him go, free him. You know, we haven't done anything wrong, just move on. I'm sure this deal is going to get done anyway over the weekend, but it's something I was thought of. Or can we make them cry even more? Get Morgan Gibbs-White over the line, then sign Wissa, and then Forest cry again. That would be quite funny. Wissa has already said he's open to a move to Spurs. He's open to working with Frank again. And it's also been reported today that personal terms won't be a problem with Wissa. I don't even think the price would be a problem with Wissa. I think that Spurs will try and knock it down because I think they're looking for about 50 million. So it's a bit steep, I think, for a 28, 29-year-old. But he has scored 20 goals last season and we paid, what was it, 60 million for Solanke, who only scored 19 goals the season before. So it is possible that we will pay it. He is a very decent player, and if Richarlison did leave, he would be an upgrade on Richarlison, in my opinion. One, he stays fit a lot longer, and two, he's lethal in the box and scores more goals than Richarlison does. Richarlison probably would score more goals if he played more, he just doesn't play enough. So yeah, so let me know what you thought on today's video. Are you excited for this upcoming season? Remember, we've got Reading tomorrow. I'm watching that on Spurs Play. I am going to go to a few games this season. I missed out last year. When me and my wife have gone to games, we have won every single one. We've gone to 3 games together and won every single one of them. And we are going to a few games this season. So hopefully we can get some more wins and that'll be brilliant. Let's see what happens against Reading tomorrow. I'm excited to see the younger guys. I'm excited to see Vuskovic. I'm excited to see Jamie Donnelly playing because I think he's going to get minutes as well. I'm really excited to see Kudus. I'm excited to see a lot of them, to be honest. I'm excited to see a new style of play. I'm excited to see, there's a lot of things to be excited about at the minute. So we'll see. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this video, what you think about the game tomorrow, and who you're excited to see. Thank you for watching, and come on, you Spurs.